In many ways and in many circumstances, life itself paints a picture of perception versus reality. As you're about to see, what most people perceive as reality is in truth a complete misperception. This is a video from 2012. Obviously in this video, I was pretty on fire because these things were starting to be revealed to me, and they were so amazing and so supernatural. I was in absolute stupefaction of the information and the material that was coming my way. And the Lord just kept giving me more and more and letting me perceive more and more. I'm going to show you that world now because I've been in it 5 more years since this particular video was done. This is an image of the Vatican. This is St. Peter's Basilica. We're going to drop in through the ceiling right here, and we're going to look at the large altar that's right here at the tip of this upside down cross. This is the same building you saw earlier in the video that made an image of a serpent wearing a crown. And as we approach the altar, what you're looking at is the face of a sheep with its tongue sticking out. Here's the eye of the sheep. Here's the other eye of the sheep. The nostril, the teeth, and the tongue sticking out. The ears are coming down. They're slightly hidden by the pillars. We'll drop in at number 1. This is one of the biggest reveals in modern times. This is what the Lord revealed to me. Here's the sheep's eye right here made by this spot in the pillar. Here's the other eye right here made by the dark area on the pillar. Here's the nostril made by the arm of the chair. Here's the other nostril. Here the teeth are. Here's the tongue sticking out underneath. I want you to get a very good look at what it's constructed of. These are a bunch of angels. These angels are being pulled in, and they're going into this vortex. So the wool of the sheep, all the wool over his head and around this window, these are God's children that are being pulled into this vortex. That is a sheep with its tongue sticking out. Here's an image of a sheep. I've drawn it in for you. Here's the eye of the sheep and the eye of the sheep. Nostril, mouth. Here's the ear of the sheep going out. Here's the hair of the sheep. Here's the other ear of the sheep going out, and the hair of the sheep. There's an image on the face of the sheep right here. This is an image of the devil with wings. Here's the eye of the devil, the nose, the mouth. He's got horns, and he's got wings. The wings of the devil are the ears of the sheep. I'm going to take this devil, and I'm going to slide him over, and I'm going to put him right on the face of the sheep. Here's another image of a sheep. Here's a sheep's eye. There's a teardrop coming out of the eye, top of the head. The ear of the sheep. Here's the nose. Here's the mouth of the sheep. The bottom lip of the sheep and the neck of the sheep. I'm going to take this sheep and I'm going to slide it over and I'm going to put it in the mouth of a serpent. And I'm going to drop the sheep in right there. And here is a serpent underneath the sheep with its mouth wide open. And the serpent is eating the sheep. I've simply drawn around it. And I've given you enough lines to make it easy for you to see or perceive the serpent is eating the sheep. Now I'm going to take the same image and I'm going to put it on the place that it originated from. There it is. And see, there's the eye of the sheep. Here's the nose of the sheep. This girl's hair, like a sideburn, becomes the mouth of the sheep. And then her ear becomes the bottom lip. And you can see that the serpent becomes very visible underneath. And there's a serpent eating the sheep. This is a greeting card that was given to me by someone very close to me. I'm going to rotate this now 90 degrees counterclockwise, and this is the image that you get. It's a greeting card. So here's the serpent right here, and the serpent's mouth is agape, and the serpent is eating the sheep. And you can clearly see it's a serpent eating the sheep. There you go. All right. Here's one of the images that was drawn of me by a guy named Marcel right here. There was a knot in the wood right here. He used the knot in the wood to make the eye of the sheep so it would look like water coming out of the eye of the dead sheep. Here's the top of the head of the sheep, the nose of the sheep, the tongue sticking out, the bottom jaw, and the neck of the sheep. And then the sheep joins to a goat, and one's right side up, one's upside down. Here's the goat's horn, ear, eye closed, nose, other eye, and the front hoof comes around my ear, and the hoof of the sheep makes my sideburn. Again, Marcel came up and handed me this picture of myself I thought it was very odd. He gave it to me in 2001. In 2001, I was not born again. I could not see or perceive that he had done this drawing with hidden imagery on it. Once I got saved, I was able to see it. He had also drawn an image of a serpent around my neck with its tail wrapped around my neck. That was a real shocker. When I woke up, I was very disturbed about that. So here is another image that I just simply colored it in. There's the sheep on top of my head, the goat, and there's the serpent wrapped around me and consuming me. We're starting to have the common denominator repeat itself. Devil superimposed on top of a sheep, serpent eating a sheep, serpent eating a sheep. And here we go again. This is another image that was drawn of me by a guy named Alex in Starbucks. I instantly saw that he had drawn a dead sheep behind my ear, and after studying it a little bit, I was able to perceive there was also a serpent eating the sheep, as well as the ear of the sheep turning into the serpent's tail, going into its own mouth. So here you go. You can see the sheep right behind my ear. He used like the bow of my do-rag to make the other ear of the sheep. So why are people drawing pictures of me with dead sheep on me and serpents eating me? And here is the same image. I've just colored it in to make it a little easier. I colored the sheep yellow and the serpent green. This particular ear of the sheep, he put it in that proximity, because if I were to color that the same color green as the serpent, the tail would be going in the mouth of the serpent. That would be the serpent eating its own tail, which we'll deal with later in this video as well. These are images of twins, one white, one black. The shadowing is different, it's colored different, but I want to show you something. What you're really looking at are sheep. This is the head of a sheep. Here's the eye of the sheep right here. The eye of the child right here is where the eye of the sheep is. But this is the nose of the sheep right here, top of the head of the sheep, and the ear of the sheep. This is a black sheep that's upside down. If I were to draw in a white line right here in front of this kid's head, you would be able to perceive that this is a black sheep the other direction. Again, we have a common denominator. Here is an image of a sheep with its tongue sticking out, and it becomes several things. If you take your hand and you hold it over the nose right here, you'll see very clearly that this is a sheep with its tongue sticking out. There's the ear of the sheep. There's the other ear of the sheep. One eye is open, one eye is closed. The mouth is open sideways, and the tongue is coming out. Again, another dead sheep. We're going to rotate it a little bit towards us. It turns into an image of the devil or a gargoyle with two sharp teeth like a vampire. And there's Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones on top of that image. Here's another image of a sheep with its tongue sticking out. There's the eye of the sheep. There's going down to the nose of the sheep. There's the nostril. The mouth is open. The tongue is sticking out. There's the bottom jaw. Here is the ear of the sheep right here. I'm going to take the sheep and I'm going to put it over here where it goes. The other parts right here, we'll get to those later. The critical thing is there's another sheep with its tongue sticking out. So we have this common denominator again. We have images of sheep with their tongues sticking out. They've all come from different locations. They all have the same agenda. Here's another image of a sheep with its tongue sticking out. There's the eye of the sheep. There's the eye of the sheep, the nostril. And then here's the lips of the sheep right here. You see the lines going out. And there is the tongue of the sheep and the top of the head coming down to the ears. When you turn this image upside down, it becomes an image of the Virgin. Isaiah 29:15 and 16. Okay, again, here is another image of the altar of St. Peter in the Vatican. We have superimposed an image of a sheep over that, so you can see how obvious this all is. Question, what is with all these dead sheep? You know, the Bible says, my sheep hear my voice. In John 21, Jesus asked Peter, he said, Simon, son of Jonas, do you love me? And Simon Peter answered and said, Lord, yes, I love you. He said, then feed my sheep. A second time, Jesus asked Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, do you love me? And Peter said, yes, Lord, I love you. And then he said, feed my sheep. A third time, Jesus asked, Simon, son of Jonas, do you love me? And Peter was grieved, and he said, Lord, you know all things. And then he said, then feed my sheep. In the very next verse, Jesus told Peter that his death would glorify God. Peter died upside down on a cross. Here's another image of a sheep. Here's a teardrop coming out of the eye of the sheep. Here's the top of the head. Here's the ear of the sheep. Coming down this way, we go to the nose of the sheep, this black. The mouth is open, and the tongue is sticking out again, going under the chin of the sheep to the neck. When you take this image and you turn it right side up, it becomes an image of Nefertiti, the hieroglyph that you'll see later. Remember, this is called the altar of St. Peter, St. Peter's throne. Here's a shirt called Affliction. It's a very popular clothing line. These are supposed to be pistols pointing out, but the trigger makes the eye of the sheep, coming down this way, nostril, and the tongue sticking out. This is made up by many other images in order to hide the sheep. Nevertheless, again, an image of a sheep with its tongue sticking out. In the previous video where I told you there was a guy named Carlos that started growling like that, he started growling because I called him out. He had drawn this image, and I asked him, did you draw this image? And he said, yes, I did. And I said, who is it? He said, it's a girl I committed adultery with. I thought that was very strange. As I took the picture off the wall, I started drawing in the lines of the picture. The Bible says 3 unclean spirits leapt from the mouth of the beast and the false prophet and the dragon. Let me show you those 3 unclean spirits. Here's the eye, and here's the eye, and here's the mouth of one. Eye, mouth. Now the other one shares a common eye. Here's the eye, and here's the mouth. And here's the third one in blue. Eye, nose, mouth. It looks like the alien from the E.T. movie. Carlos also drew himself dead. Here's his eye. Here's the top of his head. Here's the top of the head. There's the eye. There's the nose. There's the other eye. There's his mouth open. His open mouth, and there's the bottom of his chin. When I showed him that he had put himself in this image, he started whimpering like a child that was terrified, and I mean absolutely terrified.